Silence is safer than speech, meaning silence actually has always had its own complications, complexities, chaos, difficulties, and even dangers that often goes unnoticed and unrecognized by most of us because we're always used to basically a lot of talking. We do a lot of speaking and saying almost unnecessarily, unreasonably, undesirably, insensibly, but that also lands us in basically lot of unnecessary unwanted troubles, sufferings, chaos that is obviously external, societal, outside, and not really internal. But the process begins from the internal world only because our speech is directly directed from the tide and from the currents of our mind and the psyche. So everything is already decided in the mind. Ultimately, it is up to us and upon us as to what we're going to think, say, do, become, perform, and achieve in our lives on the base of our actions primarily, and then upon our character, attitude, perception, mindset, outlook, reality, etc. So action dictates our reality, perception dictates our action, and action ultimately becomes responsible for the creation and development of not only our growth, progress, learning, value, virtue, but also for our downfall, setback, difficulty, etc. So action is twofold, and thinking influences, dominates, controls action, which can be either positive or negative, healthy or unhealthy, fair or unfair, just or unjustifiable, based on the circumstances, situations, conditions we're in or we're facing. So ultimately, it is going to be safer for all of us to choose and go for silence and to remain silent in maximum circumstances, situations as we possibly can over speech, because speech creates unwanted consequences, undesirable outcomes of suffering, criticism, condemnation, violation, and basically isolation imposed upon us by external authorities unnecessarily because we chose speech, not silence, because we chose or we generally choose to speak our mind and to speak the truth, wisdom, rationality, reason of everything that it is, and that's why we face sometimes isolation, criticism. But then again, it is always going to be in our best interest to be silent, remain silent, and choose silence over essentially everything else. Silence is a great virtue, but silence is also going to be difficult in one way or another. Speech has its problems, but silence can neither be contradicted, nor criticized, nor abandoned. So, silence in that sense is safer, wiser, more intelligent than speech in maximum cases, circumstances, situations, conditions we